Hey guys, this is Samantha from the Stay Woke Network, and today I wanted to speak about another issue that's going on right now. Apparently, I want to say it was in South Carolina. I'm going to pull up the story right now um, because this is the most unbelievable story I've ever heard of. So, here on Huffington Post, apparently there's a man who was found innocent to be not guilty by his peers, which is the jury. And even though that happened, he was still sent to prison. Okay, so hold on a second. This is not the story. One second. Oh, but they are sending someone to jail. They need to do that with that judge. Okay. So let's see here. I want to say it was this one. Yes, it's the Root 2 days ago. So we have this young man. He was trying to work his hardest to get out of the system, which means the prison system. He was on, I want to say he was on probation, and I think in July he would have been done with with the whole, being on probation or parole. And then there was a videotape that came out that I guess shows someone that looked like him, um, like robbing a store. And he knew they were looking for him, so he just came up, turned himself in, but was saying like it wasn't me, but I'm just turning myself in because I know you're looking for me. I don't want to seem like I'm on the run, right? He's trying to do the right thing. And despite that, they still, then he wanted to do like an alpha plea deal, which basically is you're basically taking a plea deal, but you still can maintain your innocence. This is how I'll explain to like from Dr. Boyce Watkins. I just watch his show. I watch it every morning, time I wake up. Gets me going. But so he wanted to do an alpha plea deal, and then the judge shot that down, and so he went ahead and had his trial. They found him not guilty, and usually that doesn't happen by a predominantly white jury if they're not all white or non-black. That just doesn't happen. So the fact that they found him not guilty, how in the hell is the judge still sentencing him to go to prison? So let's read the story here. It says, Black man found not guilty of crime, still sentenced to 7 years in prison. In today's example of how the American justice system treats Black bodies, we take a look at Ramad Chapman, a 24-year-old man who was found not guilty by a jury of his peers, but will serve 7 years in prison because, come on, you know why. Read the first two words of the headline again. Black man. According to the Independent, in 2012, Chapman was convicted of breaking and entering for stealing a television worth $120, guys. And this was in 2012. So how old was he in 2012? So that's 5 years ago. Like he was 19. Come on now. It was his first offense, but because he was, again, you know why? Black man. Chapman was sentenced to 5 years probation. Like that's overkill for that crime. $120 at 19 is your first offense. You should not be on probation for 5 fucking years. Especially if you're breaking and entering, it's not armed robbery. They didn't say he was brandishing a gun, holding people hostage to steal stuff. So why did he get that much time for probation anyway? You read that right. He was 19, and a judge thought it necessary to make him property of the state for half a decade. During his probation period, court papers show that he paid his restitution, attended every meeting, finished his community service, and even kept himself employed, which we know is hard in America to keep yourself employed as a Black man. Like most men trying to hire Black people. So he kept himself employed. Unbeknownst to Chapman, he was identified as a suspect in a convenience store robbery in 2014, although he was on probation, which means that he was required to submit his whereabouts to law enforcement officials monthly. Chapman was never arrested for the robbery. In fact, according to him, he had no idea that he was a suspect. So what I'm reading from that paragraph, if he had to submit his whereabouts to law enforcement, aren't they his alibi? Like, shouldn't they be able to say he submitted that he was here at the halfway house or wherever, or his mama's house, so he couldn't have possibly been at this convenience store doing a robbery? because I think sometimes when you're on probation, he may have had the thing on his leg. I forget what it's called, the ankle bracelet. So I don't know. I just feel like there's so many ways they can prove that wasn't him. If he, especially he's saying it's not him, I just feel like there's so many ways. In 2015, Chapman learned that he had been accused of the crime. So, like most thug gangsters who need to be removed from society for the safety of the good citizens, Chapman did what any criminal would do after evading law enforcement officers for a year. He turned himself in for the crime because he knew he was innocent. But Judge Jack Neerdrick wanted to send Chapman to jail. That's just not hyperbole. When he was arrested, Chapman offered to plead guilty to assault in exchange for having the armed robbery charge dropped, but the judge rejected the deal. Oh, what judge? What armed robbery? Hold on a second. I'm sorry, guys. So okay, where was I at? Okay, Chapman offered to plead guilty to assault in exchange for having the armed robbery charge dropped, but the judge rejected the deal. Chapman wanted to enter an Alford plea, which means the defendant pleads guilty but maintains his innocence, but the judge wasn't having that. Of course, he's not having that because you can't help a brother out in no way, shape, or form. But this country, we're post-racial, right? We're in a post-racial society, right? Yeah, right. So Chapman went to trial. It turns out during the trial, the police had no evidence for the case. They didn't find a weapon. They didn't recover any money. There was no video. In fact, the clerk who identified Chapman ID'd him on fucking Facebook, guys, over a year after the robbery. After a year? Like, you freaking kidding me? How the hell do you remember what someone looks like who just robbed you? Like you don't even know this person. You probably saw them that one time. And then you ID him on Facebook on top of that? Have these people lost their damn minds? So the jury found Chapman not guilty of all charges because they're smart. But the judge wanted to send him to jail, so he did. Neerdrick still thought Chapman was guilty, so he revoked. Oh, so apparently that's how we rolling. We ain't fuck justice. We just, if you feel like you think someone's guilty, we could just say forget the innocent, the not guilty verdict. Let's just send the black man to jail. Anyway, that's basically what he's saying. Neerdrick still thought Chapman was guilty, so he revoked Chapman's probation and sent him to jail. Now Chapman must sit in prison until 2022. To be clear, Chapman's original probation would have been finished 5 years after he was sentenced on July 6, 2012. Although that, and of course, he was almost coming up on the end, which the judge, idiot, racist ass judge, knew that he was coming up to be done with that 5-year probation sentence, which was bullshit to begin with. Although that initial punishment seems harsh, Chapman complied with every requirement of the court. Even when faced with other criminal accusations, he turned himself in. By all accounts, he was a model citizen. Yep. So Ramad Chapman is either in prison for a $120 TV he tried to steal in 2012 or is wasting away behind bars for a crime he didn't commit. And it was basically proven that he didn't commit it because they don't have anything. They don't have any evidence because he didn't do it. Either is an injustice. Both are indicative of the statistics that show black men receive 60% longer sentences than their white counterparts, and they're twice as likely to receive mandatory minimums. There is no logic or fairness in it. It is abundantly clear that justice for people of color is an oxymoron. It is as real as a Bigfoot being chased by a mermaid riding a unicorn. For us, due process is a myth. It is an old wives' tale we hear about but have never witnessed. A black man expecting to be treated fairly within the legal system would be just as well served closing his eyes, standing in front of a bathroom mirror, and reciting an incantation. There is no justice for a black man in America. There is no justice for a black man in America. There is no justice for a black man in America. Read the story of Ramad Chapman here. So, oh my gosh, like I don't even know where to start with this. I don't even know where to start, guys. Like, for one, I'm pissed. I am livid. And this is in Texas, like one of the most racist. This is what I want to say to you guys right now. If you're black and you don't have a passport, you like being a slave. So I'm just gonna say that. Like, if you're black and you don't have a passport and you're not planning to leave this racist ass country the first chance you get, you like slavery. You love white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? Because I just hold on a second. I just feel like this country's not for us. I don't see how we are going to be able to fight against white supremacy in this country because we are the minority in this country. We're the majority in the world, but we're a minority in this country. So I don't see how we can fight against their very racist system while living in this country. And I do have complete plans to leave this country as soon as my businesses are strong enough and I can live off the income. I'm gone. My children and I already have passports. I'm prior military, so I'm used to traveling all over the world. And you guys might want to get used to traveling all over the world too, because America is a very small blip on the map compared to all the places that black people could live and be more than welcome to live. So let me see if I can find this one video about black people in Ethiopia. It's the Rastafarians, Ethiopia. Just living the life. And I'm like, when can I get over there? Like, I'm so tired of these kinds of stories and just feeling helpless. Like, I can't do anything. And I'm just angry. I'm fucking angry about this whole thing. And there's really nothing we can do. Like, let's be real here. Like, there's not much we can do. We can protest. We can do, but I personally am tired. I'm tired of protesting. Like, I don't even protest anymore because that's how tired I am of protesting. Like, I just want to be done with it. Hold on a second. I just want to be done with it. Like, I'm sick of white supremacy. I feel like we should be going back and investing in Africa anyway. That is our continent. And we should just be uniting as much as possible and building our economy. Like, it's crazy because there's so many other people going over to Africa, and we're just sitting here like, hold on a second. There's so many people going over to Africa, and we're still here like dealing with the bullshit. Like, why? And they're not even black. Like, I can show you another video where they're like, Chinese are going over there in droves. The raggedy ass white folks are already over there trying to take over our continent. Like, in my dream world, we would kick their ass. We should have kicked their ass out of Africa a long time ago. Like, when I want to say it was Kenya or Ethiopia. It was one of those countries that basically fought back and won and were able to take control back of their country. And we continue to let white people stay there. No, your ass. That's the problem, black folks. Too damn nice. I would have kicked their ass out. 1 second. Talking to a client. But anyways, I would have kicked them out. So let's watch this video really quickly so we can see how people are living and loving Africa. Jonathan, get over here now. Okay, and she's right. It has been prophesied for us to go back home. So yeah. Let me find this other video that I thought was interesting. I don't know how to spell it. Zambia. That's correct. Okay. All right, so I have to cut it short because I have somewhere to be in a little bit, but I just wanted you guys to see the people who are moving over to Africa and basically taking full advantage of things that we're not even taking advantage of as Black people, and we're African. So, I mean, I can't even tell you how many battles I get into with people who don't want to claim their African ancestry. They're constantly saying they're not African, and I don't know. I think it's just crazy. It's like you're clearly African. Like you look like the Africans. Like just give it a rise. And there's no there, like the Rastafarian woman said. Like it's been prophecy that we go back over there and leave the West, leave America, and go back home. God told us to do that, and then on top of that, you have people that aren't even Black who are benefiting and building up our motherland and enjoying the fruits of being in Africa. Like it's just almost unreal to me that a lot of Black people are not considering like we should be like all flying over there because of stuff that's happening like with Ramad Chapman. That stuff is BS. Like it's like why are we even still here dealing with this stuff? And I'm not saying like Africa's gonna be like the perfect utopia, but I don't think you're going to be going to jail when you're an innocent Black man. I don't think you're going to be dealing with the type of racism that you deal with here because everybody over there is Black. So they don't have they don't even have that same mentality as they do over here in America where it's predominantly white. So I don't know. I don't know. That's like I'm trying to get the word out as much as I can about Ramad Chapman. I really encourage my brothers and sisters to do the same. Do a hashtag Ramad Chapman, free Ramad Chapman, and let's get him out of prison. Once he's out, he needs to sue the pants off that judge and that state. Like it's just whoever has the money, sue the shit out of them. Like it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And frankly, like I have to tell you, like honestly, I'm tired. I'm tired of racism. I'm tired of dealing with white supremacy. That's why I left corporate America. I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't do it anymore. I just was like, I'm out. And I'm never going back. Like I will never go back. I don't care how much I struggle while I'm trying to get my business going. I am not going back to that bullshit, to the corporate plantation. Once you a free slave, you a runaway slave, you become free, you're not trying to be enslaved again. And I hate that my children are in these schools. I would like for them to be in predominantly Black schools. I would love for them to go to African schools and learn, Swahili and just learn with the African children. And I also feel like their values are very different in Africa versus in America. I feel like my children are too lazy here in America. They're not humble enough. I don't see that work ethic. Like, I just feel like they're lazy and I don't like it. So I will talk to you guys soon. I'm about to run out. I have to run some errands with my kiddo, my toddler who I stay home with. I will talk to you guys again soon. So until I see you again, take care of yourselves and each other. Peace, love, and light. I'm out.